Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. So we all are here to learn Python and data analytics, you including me as well, because the moment we start teaching something, the moment we start learning more than that, right? So we will start the basic class. Okay. So let us let us think first. What is Python? What is data? And what is analytics? Let us jot them out. Okay. If you have any query, if you have any doubt, you can ask me at the end of the sessions. I will give you some time, right? So shall we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. So mute yourself, okay, so that I could not feel any, hindrance. So mute yourself, and at the end, you can unmute and ask questions.
Prachi, I want to interrupt here. Trina will be coordinator here. She will be, if she will be on mute. She you can ask like when you want to move to next, as I discussed earlier also. So Trina will be on mute and she will be coordinator with you. Any discussion in between the classes you can ask.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, we'll think and we'll come to the conclusion of what is Python. Okay. In our day-to-day life, we always has a language to speak, whether it's Kannada, whether it's Marathi, whether it's Telugu, whether it's Bengali, whether it's any language so far, right? So why do we speak in a language? So that the other person could understand it. So this is our basic motto of speaking in any language, right? If I'm talking to someone, he or she should understand what I'm saying, right? So to understand it, we take a base. We take language as a base, as our support system, to make the other person understand what we meant to or what we want to say. So in computer needs a support to understand, to interpret, to integrate the product or its working, its environment, right? So one of the very good tool, one of the very good scripting, one of the very good language we can use is Python. Okay, am I clear? So Python is a programming language. It is a language as a support system to all the works, to all the products which we make and which we ensure in future. So this is what Python is. Okay, the basic of Python. I'm not going deep into it. Just what Python is. Okay. Second, what is data? Okay, right now I'm speaking a lot, right? I spoke about Python and I have talked to you, I have introduced myself. I'm speaking something, right? So whatever I'm speaking is a kind of information. Whatever you do, whatever you see is a kind of information. And every information which you see, which you store is data, right? See, I saw something, it's kind of information. It is getting stored in my brain. So brain works as a database. Okay, now I can access my brain whenever I need that information again. Obviously, you will need all of the information of what Python with data analytics is after the 5 days of your course. So how you will access it? Through your brain, right? So while accessing it, basically it's your database, and while accessing it, while you use in your day-to-day life or something like that, that's how you use it as a data. Analytics means to analyze something, okay, to understand something, to interpret something, whether it's to past, whether it's to future, whether it's to present. Okay, there is a difference between analyst and analytics, like analysis and analytics. Now what is analysis and analytics? Analysis means you are interpreting or you're understanding or you're visualizing or you're analyzing something which has happened into past. Okay, analysis is always coordinated with past. But when I talk about analytics, it basically means I'm interpreting or I'm analyzing something which has to be occurred in future. Okay, analytics in future, analysis in past. Am I clear with it?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Now let's move ahead. Okay. Now we'll come into what is Python. Okay, because we have to start with it. Now we should know, we should inculcate with what is Python and why we are using Python. There are other languages, right? There are C, there is C++, there is Java, there are databases, there is R Studio. Like there are many languages which are, like there is Kannada, Marathi. So why I'm talking to another person in Marathi? Okay, I could come with this question, right? So why I'm talking to the another person in Marathi? Because the another person can easily read, easily understand that language, right? Do I need any cost? Do I have to buy my language and speak it? No, it's free of cost, right? I just have to learn Marathi and I just have to speak Marathi. Am I buying this language? No. So it's free of cost. It's open source, right? It's versatile. How it's versatile? Why my Marathi language is versatile? Because it has all the words, all the dictionaries, all the grammar which I found in other languages as well, right? So am I clear with this example? And now
Yes,
what is
ma'am.
Python? Python, which is a free source. Free source as in it is available free of cost. You don't have to pay anything for that. Okay. Whenever I go to any application, whenever I go to any website, the most important thing I go and I see is it costing me something, right? I always go and I see it. And then if it comes into my budget or if it's free of cost, only then I buy it or only then I take the subscription or the premium, right? So it's open source. It's versatile. How is it versatile? There are these three libraries which we learn in the future: NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. Okay, so NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib are the libraries which are inbuilt in Python. Okay, don't worry what libraries are. Don't worry what inbuilt is. Okay, inbuilt which already exists. Okay, so there are many libraries. There are many ways in which I can use Python. Okay, I can analyze my data. I can visualize my data. See, I'm speaking something, but it's raw. Okay, whatever I'm speaking, whatever I'm saying to you, it's raw. Okay, but when I store it and I access it and I find some insights, this is what analysis is all about, right? So it's versatile. Okay, there are many languages which are complicated. Okay, which are complex to write. I can't understand that language that easily. For example, Arabic. I can't understand Arabic that easily. I need to know all of. I need to be like it's very complex. It's very hard to write in Arabic, right? So you need that cursive. What shall I say? Yeah, the cursive thing to write it. So Python, it's a scripting language. It's easy to write and it's easy to read. Whatever you write, the way you write, the way you read. Okay, so it's easy to read and write. It's a production based language. What do you mean by production based language? If a language is giving you some product as in any application, any website, maybe a robot, maybe your home automation, anything, if it's giving you a product, if it's giving you a GUI whatsoever, so that is known as a production based language. It is help in reducing something, right? So that is known as a production based language. So Python is very versatile in the field of production. Okay, so it is known as a production based language. Okay, now I can create a web application. Okay, so but I need to do something with that web application, right? I need to, like, for instance, if I have Udacity, so I need to upload the videos, I need to upload the content, I need to upload the accessibility, right? So I just can't make the front end and keep it. I just can't make the first page, which is the username and ID page, and keep it. Okay, I need some integration. Integration means some hands, some joining hands. Okay, for
Excuse me,
instance, sure.
ma'am, your voice got cracked like a few seconds before you said right now.
Okay, am I clear now? Like, am I audible
Yeah,
now?
yeah, right now it is fine. Could you please just repeat the sentence you were saying just right now?
Okay, sure. So I'll start with helps with integration of the web application, right?
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
for instance, you see a human, okay, a human, okay,
Mm-hmm.
human, what a human contains? A human contains some morality, some knowledge, right? some kind of bad attitude stuff. A human is a collection of so many things, and then you become a human. Okay, you can walk, you can talk, whatsoever, right? So all these integrates to make you a human. Okay, you just cannot make a body and you just cannot keep it. You need something inside it. So that is what integration is, and how that is how your web application works. So Python is an integration language. It helps in integration of your web applications. Am I clear?
Yes,
Great.
ma'am.
Now, like if I say my name is Prachi Tare, okay, I would always you would always wonder who is my father, like who brought me into this planet Earth, which is like my mother and my father, obviously. So Python was conceived by Guido van Rossum. Okay, he was the founder of, or conceived it, or you may say invented it, built it, writed it, whatsoever. He was Guido van Rossum. Okay. He invented it at the Centrum Visconda and Informatica Labs, which is based in Netherlands. Okay. What is ABC language? ABC language is just a method to write a language. Okay, it's just a method to build a language. Okay, like ABC, like C++ are also made with the help of the similar algorithms. They are basically algorithms, the way to design something. Okay, there is always a way to design something. Okay, if I'm designing a dress, okay, there would be a similar way. There would be hole to remove my hands. Okay, there would be a hole to remove my neck. Okay, so these are the essential substance is followed by every dress. Okay, so that's what basically the ABC language does. It has its own algorithm by which you can create languages. Okay, so Python was created by this ABC language. Am I clear? So it is capable of exception handling and interfacing with the Amoeba operating system. You don't have to go deep into it. Exception handling, as in, for instance, you run a code, okay, and you get an error. Okay, you can solve that error. Like, it will specify you the line number, the error problem. Okay, you just have to find what that error exactly means, and you can solve it. So it's really very easy to solve the errors. That is what exception handling is. Okay, now areas of Python where Python can be implemented. So web application, I just told you the integration. Okay, APIs, calling the APIs. You know what APIs is all about? Anybody having idea about what is API?
Prachi, it is an interface.
Yeah, it is an interface between,
Application and I guess
yeah,
user.
the application and the computing interface. We can say a computer. Okay,
Yeah.
so a program interface, like application and a programming interface, right? So why, like, this can be used, like we have this Flask, we have this REST APIs. Okay, so we can make APIs using Python. Okay, we can make GUIs. I mean, you could see like calculators, or some games. There is this dot game, if you are aware of the basic game which everybody makes GUI. So you can make GUIs using, you all know what GUI is, like graphic. Okay, like you make something using like something which help the user to understand something, like innovatively, graphically. Okay, it is an interface between your application to the people who is using it. Okay, so that's what you can do. Okay, plus there are many frameworks, like there is this Flask, there is Django. Okay, there are many frameworks which has a syntax of writing, like you can do web scraping. You all know what web scraping is, right? So are you aware of web scraping, anyone?
Yes, Prachi.
Yeah, so basically web scraping is what, when you extract the data. Okay, when you extract the data from some websites or from some other sources, so that's what scraping is all about. So when you write the scraping tool, when you write the code for scraping tool, you can use Python for it. Okay, so you can also make web scraping tools. Okay, there are many companies who are using Python, like Instagram, Google, Spotify, Netflix, Uber, Pinterest. So you know how Google uses Python? Obviously, first for integration purpose, and second, for they have this high search engine, you know, the very effective search engine. Like you type something and then you will get the references of it. Okay, like if you type, for instance, anything like flower, so you'll get all the related websites, you know, which relates or correlates the word flower. Okay, so this is what search engine is. It's a very effective search engine made by natural language processing. The whole code of NLP has been written with Python. Okay, Instagram, you get suggestions, you get you post something, you have this beautiful what shall I say, front end of Instagram. So all these things are done again with Python. Spotify, again, the recommendation system of Spotify is very good. I mean, it's really very good. So plus it it scrapes all of your recommended, or what shall I say, all of your interested musics, and then they show it to you. Okay, they make up your own playlist. Okay, so that is how this Spotify works. Uber has its own database. Okay, Uber uses its own database. Uber has its own framework for backend. Okay, so it's all can be used with Uber. Pinterest, again, the recommendation system, the content which you see, the front end which you see, the integration which you see, it's all, not the front end, the back end integration which you see is all using Python. So if you learn Python, there are several companies, there are several, what shall I say, good, well established companies who would require you, who would want you to work with them. And seriously, Python is really very, very, not very, very obviously, it's kind of easy to learn and to implement. I suggest you all to go and create an account at HackerRank, solve at least one questions per day, because I can teach you thousands of things, hundreds of things theoretically, maybe a bit of practical, but you need practice. And practice, while you will solve the questions, while you will go to HackerRank, you will take a question, you will understand its algorithm, and then you will put it onto the syntax. So I would rather prefer, or I would rather ask you to go to HackerRank, solve the questions. If you have any doubt, if you have any query, you can mail me. Okay. So started after 2 3 days. Let the class start. Let the class begin. And if someone who already know what Python is and know a bit of if-else statement, for loop statements whatsoever, I would suggest them to start it from today. Okay. So 5 days, 5 questions, like in you would understand where you better stand. Okay, so there are Python. Obviously, if something has its advantage, it will have its disadvantages. Okay, so basically, if I write like 1,500 line code, 15,000 line code, something like that. Okay, so what will happen after a certain amount of time, after a certain limit, after a certain syntax, I mean, after certain line statements, your speed will reduce. Okay, your speed will constantly reduce. So this is the basic, like this is the like a big disadvantage, but we have a solution for it. You can use Google Colab. Okay, you can use some other cloud system to make to work with speed limitations and all. Okay, when you talk about when you do this, always see to it, like you can do it, go to Google on laptop and go to Google on your mobile application, type something and press enter. You can check the speed onto both of it. Okay, so you can only compare it. Okay, then there are, when I talk about GUI, so you cannot make the best GUI, the GUI which is very I shall say catchy, or which is something very interesting to see, I mean, which can take the world eyes off to your system. It cannot make it. It has several restrictions. Okay, it has a very few libraries to make GUIs, so people rather not prefer, usually does not prefer Python to work with GUIs. So then underdeveloped, the database layer, as in it does not suppose most of the databases. Okay, there are several databases which Python does not support. So there's the big problem. If I'm using some other framework, and if I'm using some other database, I cannot integrate it. So there comes an issue. So you have to resolve it. Okay, so there is one interesting thing. If I have Python 2.7, if I have two files, one is Python 2.7 version, one is Python 3.6 version, for instance, there are versions. Okay, like you have years, like I'm 21-year-old, you're 22-year-old, 23-year-old, 24-year-old. You have your own versions. Every day, every year you upgrade yourself, right? If you're 22, you will be 23 the next year. So you're upgrading yourself. So Python, other languages upgrade themselves with some good skills, with some good stats, with some good syntax. Okay, so basically versions like 2.7 version, 3.6 is better than 2.7. Obviously it may have some more features. Then we have this 3.8 coming. I think it has come. Okay, so this word is, so if I have two files, one is like Python 2.7 and one is Python 3.6, I can use Python 2.7 in Python 3.6. There is this interesting thing I would tell you in like coming future. So how to use it, how to use two versions at the same time, because you cannot do it. You cannot use two versions at the same, like you cannot be 21 and 22 at the same year. That is what it's all about programming language. You cannot use 2.7 and 3.6 at the same time. So how to use it, I'll also let you know. Okay, at the like the second class end, right? So I have already informed you about what is data. Okay, what all you see, what all you understand, what all inspires you, what all you read. Okay, if I go and if I make something, if I make a tea, okay, for everybody in my family, so I have a process of making I have a process of making a tea. Okay, I'll take a vessel, I'll put some water and some milk and then boil it and whatsoever, right? I have some method, right? So all the steps, achieving the primary goal, my primary goal is to make a tea, right? It's all the information is kind of a data, right? Without knowing how to make a tea, I cannot make a tea, right? I need the information, and all the information which which you store, which you know, which you excel, which you update, is data. Okay, so data is everywhere, data exists everywhere. I mean, if you have any dilemma with data, I mean, what data is, it's if it's just the string, int and some things, but no, data is like everything which you see around the world. Okay, so obviously if I want to start with Python, I should know how to install Python. Okay, so how to install Python? There are several ways of installing Python. First is first let me tell you how to install what shall I say, Python, right? So there is this, you can see this python.org, right?
Yes.
Here you have this download option. Here you can see the latest Python source is 3.8.2. 3.8.2 is the version. Okay, so we have Windows, we have Mac OS, we have other things. So if I go to per se Windows, so I'll get all of it, like Python 3 release, which is 3.8.2, latest Python. Do not install Python 2.7. Okay, it is a depreciated version. We should rather not use it, because in the coming future, it may get end. So better use 3.8.2, right? So we have these download 86, 64 zip file, executable file, something like that. Now, how to make sure that you want what you want to use? I mean, you can use this embedded zip file. You like install it, and then you unzip it, and you just download it. Okay, so this is the best way of installing what shall I say, Python. Okay, then there are more things. Okay, there are this get started thing, how to start with Python, how to download, that there is a whole documentation on Python, the libraries, the tutorials, the guides, anything. They also tell you where you can land of your first job after, after knowing Python, after learning Python. Okay, several latest news, whatsoever news, what has been occurring with Python, what all building functions you can see in Python, everything you can see in this latest news sections. And upcoming events, you know what upcoming events are, where some people or some great personalities tell you what Python is and teach you or make you understand what Python is, right? So you can see so many things. So use Python for web development, GUI development, scientific and numeric, software development, system administration. So they'll tell you, okay, if you're using Python for web development, what all frameworks you can use. You can use Django, you can use Pyramid, you can use Bottle, you can use Tornado, you can use Flask, you can use Web2Py, right? If you're using Python for GUI development, what all you can use. If you're using Python for numeric and scientific means calculations and stuff, okay, for calculating or for finding any insights to the data, you can use SciPy, you can use Pandas, you can use IPython. If you're using Python for software development, what all you can use. And if you're using Python for system administration means handling any system. Okay, so basically it relates to database. Okay, so if you're using Python for creating or for updating the database, what all libraries you can use. So all these are libraries. If you click one of it, so they will let you know how to start with it, how to build, what is Django, how to build your first web application from Django, the backend application from Django. You can also download your Django from here. So this website makes it all easier for you or for anyone to learn Python or to acknowledge Python. Okay, so you must like, this is PyPy is basically it will tell you all the libraries which are in this Python package. Okay, Python containing all the libraries, it will tell you the name of all the libraries and also how to install it. So if you have any problem, you just have to write, for instance, there is this library known as Panda. So if I have to install it, I need to know how to install it, right? So I'll just write as PyPy and see, you can get it. After that, you just have to copy it. So it's easy, right? It's very easy. So am I clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Now let's go ahead. So this is how you have to download the Python. Now, what is Sublime Text? Sublime Text is an editor, okay, where we use terminal. Okay, where we use terminal, it's basically Sublime Text. Now, how to install Sublime Text? You have to go to this www.sublimetext.com. You have to download it. If it's OS X, like operating system, what operating system it is, like Windows or Linux. I mean, you have to go, if it's 62-bit, if your computer is 64-bit, go for 64. If it's 32, go for 32. Okay, if it's Windows 64, go for this. If it's Windows, then go for this portable versions. Okay, it depends upon what your bit is, you have to install it. Okay, so if it's if it's Macs, I mean, if you're using Mac, so you have there is this change log something where you can find the version for Mac as well, right? After installing it, if you want to see how Sublime Text is, so you just have to go to this application. Okay, I have here, but I can show you. There is the Sublime Text. You can open it and see, this is what Sublime Text is, right? So you can write anything on Sublime Text. Okay, if you want to go to any folder, you write cd and then the folder name. Okay, so if you want to go back, okay, so you write cd ... If you want to run any Python file, so you write Python 3 because we are using that 3.8 version. Python 3 and the name. Okay. While saving a Python file, you have an extension of .py. For instance, I write anything here. If I take a new file, okay, and I write ABC, only 13 plus 12. So this is what I write. And I save it. Anything. And I save it by the name, anything, sum.py. If I save it, okay. Now, where is this sum file?